I'm going to discuss removing this tailgate trim panel, and the reason I did it was I ended up using a heat gun and pulling a dent out of this. And then so mainly the majority is going to be spent on the clips. What kind of clips, how do you know, a lot of times you break the clips, what clips there are. And then I'm going to leave the removal of all this stuff to other videos that this guy did a really good job on. But I am going to kind of go into the lights, replacing this light and replacing the license plate light, and then just the clips that are used, because there's not quite enough covered on those.
We're going to be talking about these push pins that are used on the rear trim on a 2007 2011 Honda CRV. And these things are about $5 a piece at the dealers. That's what I got them for. And they would give you the impression that they might come apart, and you might be able to take these apart prior to installation. However, I'm not finding that to be the case. These things, the only way they come apart is if you pull them apart with a trim piece attached, as far as I can tell. So what happens is, after they do pull apart when you pull off the trim piece, and then sometimes you get a perfect pin that just comes out of this thing and it works really well. Well, one of the common complaints are I can't get them separated, and I don't think that's the way you're supposed to do it. I think you're supposed to just pop them into the body. So you can kind of see that this part right there is a little fan out when you go into the body. So you just push this into the body, and you just push it in like, so this portion's connected to the trim piece. Right here. Well, that's connected to the trim piece, and then you just push this whole unit into the body, and then that's just the way it works. And some of the complaints on Amazon, where some of these guys are selling them, is that these things don't, there was no way to separate them, so I sent them back. And I just don't think that's the way it's supposed to work. So I do believe you probably could have some success with these. The only things I've heard is they don't quite, mesh into the body. You have to push extra hard going into the body, but we'll find out about that. And then as far as videos on the trim piece videos, I've had a lot of luck with this guy right here. He did a good job, and then this guy right here does a really good job on the trim piece. And then if you want bumper dent repair, I've used this video, and it's really good. You can see here where this thing just sheared off, but then these are okay, probably. This one's sheared off, that's sheared off. And so somebody said that you want to make sure that you do this when it's kind of warm. I did about 60 degrees, and it worked out. Then here's an example of one that broke off. And so there's another video on this, but there's just two nuts on each corner, and then you just slide these. See, this is an example where the pin is good, right? Maybe you put a little bit of lube on these, I'm not sure. I might try that. And then these screws here, I got a little crack right there. So here's an example of like how low these things are. They're very low. And there's not much clearance on this edge here. You can see there's just no clearance. So you're sort of glad that you don't have to separate the two pieces and push one through. They just push in from the trim side, right? So then how do you get these things out like this? Well, I got some of these, right? And then I just kind of, if I can get this right, and I just
destroy the thing. Uh-oh. The other one just kind of came right off. But this one's not cooperating. Okay, there it goes. So this is the tool that I use to just take these off. And then these are okay subject to their mate, I think. Pin inspection. So you're going to have to inspect the corresponding pin and make sure it's not damaged in any way. Otherwise, you're going to just have to take these off with this thing too. What you need to do is just make sure these pins are properly engaged. And so you can see, here's an example of the old one that got engaged. And there's an example of some other ones. So I think you got to pound with a hammer in the areas that they don't engage. You try to push them in, close the door, push the trim piece in, close the door, and then make sure that these are all engaged. So here's a tool I use, just a rag and a crowbar when I'm pushing across this edge. And then I push hard on that edge, and then I drop down and I push on this edge down here. So right in here, while you're at it, I would replace this with an LED 7440. It's 1.6 inches tall. And then there's another bulb here that you want to check, you want to do, and it's your license plate bulb. And it's I think it's a 194 LED, 168, and then polarity is important, so you do that one at the same time. Here's the trim piece. I've got this type clip, and I have this black clip. There's a black clip here and a black clip right here. And so these clips look like this. It's just kind of a stubby clip with a sliding part there. And this one is kind of more of a super stubby with a sliding clip. And here is the part that you need to order, and I was able to find these not too much trouble. But the other one is this one here, and this one looks like it's kind of hard to find, but if you needed to, I guess you could, which I ended up doing, was borrowing the clips from this piece right here. So this one has a black, and then two of the stubby grays. So I'm just going to use those and order the clips